Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Nuke map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. We'll start with Team 1 on the northeastern side, and then we'll end with Team 2 on the southwestern side, also known as the red team versus the blue team. We will start with Team 1's southern player. In Blood Angel Red, it is Poncho playing as a UEF. He is a 1335 rated. To his north in Chevy Crimson, it is Sheppy playing as a Seraphim. He is a 1559 rated. And then last but not least, for Team 1, we have in orange color orange, talking about going navy, it is Keli playing as a UEF. He is a 1617 rated, the highest rated player on Team 1. So with Team 1 side of the map, they have two UEF flanking a Seraphim, so no Cybran and no Aeon Tech for Team 1. Moving on to Team 2 side, starting in the south as well, we have in Amethyst Purple, it is Sailor Moon. He's playing as a Cybran for this match. He is a 1649 rated, the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall. Moving northwest, we have in Royal Blue, it is StillX playing as a UEF. He is a 1515 rated. And then last but not least, for Team 2, we have in Stitch Blue another Cybran for Team 2. It is Toxic Hunter. He is a 1380 rated. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have two Cybrans flanking one UEF. So no Aeon Tech and no Seraphim Tech for Team 2, which means for the entirety of this match, there are no Aeon players. Apologies to those loyal to the princess. Hopefully, you will enjoy the game nonetheless. And for the 6 players on the map, before they scoop it all up, let's take a look at their reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 3,000 mass per player. So for a 6-player game, that's 500 mass per player. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. Major clumpages range 340 seems to be the highest. Everything is below that. Again, like I said, not really a lot of reclaim to go around, but I do think the map for 3 players does make up for it a decent amount. We'll take a look at Team 2 side of the map as they start to scurry around it to scoop up all said mexes. There's a Quadmex position here. There's another Trimex position here. A Quadmex position right next door to Sailor Moon's position, who's also going for a Trimex there. Trimex there. Quad 5-star splattering mix is there. Trimex position back here. We have another Trimex position, and you might want to say quad given that little bump there. Twin mix there. Trimex position there. And we'll say that's Team 1 side of the map up there. That means that's this Trimex position down there for Team 2. And then another try down here. Lots of expansions. There are one-offs dotted around the map, obviously, as is customary. But again, there's a lot of mexes to grab. And the map is fairly open in terms of geographical impediments. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit hilly in some areas, but besides the corner ponds, it really isn't anything that's going to impede movement on land. So it's probably just going to be just wherever our players decide to go is wherever our players decide to go kind of thing. There's no forced, east and west lane or middle lane sort of thing like we see in other matches. It does shape to be about that, though. We have 1v1 here, 1v1 here, and 1v1 there. So it's going to be Poncho versus Team 2 Sailor Moon. We have Team 2 StillX versus Team 1's Sheppy. And then we have Team 1's Keli versus Team 2's Toxic Hunter. So the highest rated player on Team 1 going after the lowest rated player for Team 2, and then vice versa in Team 2's favor, with the middle players for Team 2 going at it there. We do see gun upgrade started here for Poncho and gun upgrade started for Sailor Moon. Again, definitely sensible given that there's going to be a lot of running around the map, again, as avenues of attack are definitely plentiful around the map. There's no hiding and no cording off nice little choke points. We do see a little bit of, not a lot of forces here for Team 1 up here to the northwest. Looks like he's already tucked up the T2. That would actually explain a lot of why he doesn't have a lot of forces on the ground. Looks like he wanted to tech up first and then go for units. Not a bad idea. He will lose, again, the very, very early stages of expansion. But if he's pretty smart and fast with his units, he might be able to push back Team 2 considerably, at least on this northwestern corner section. Gun upgrade started and done for Team 2 Sailor Moon. We don't see any upgrades for him yet. Gun upgrade done for Poncho. No upgrades for him. We do see T2 Air already online for StillX. No T2 Air for Team 1 as of yet. T2 Land is done. Air facility still pumping out some nice little interceptors and air scouts. But maybe no T2 Air yet for Team 1. Gun upgrade started for Kelly in the north. We are seeing a little bit more of pushing in the middle against Sheppy's position here. We do see again with Kelly rooted the spot and no geographical impediments for Team 1 or Team 2 to rely on. It's leading to a lot of bleeding around the map. Eastern side specifically as well, we just see a huge push to kick out Team 1 from this eastern corner, and combi-com action has occurred between Sailor Moon and Poncho. Poncho, of course, is leading in the hit point department by 2,000 because he is a UEF commander. Units coming in from both teams. Poncho is taking a lot of damage and looks like he's going to fall back behind his forces. We do see bombers inbound to thin those hit points out even more. And now it's 6,000 versus a little under 6,000 in favor for Team 2. It will net in a murder-suicide, but we do see StillX is inbound. If Team 1 has noticed that, which they haven't yet, it will net Team 2 the win there, but it looks like Poncho pretty much evens the fight out. There are still reinforcements inbound from Sailor Moon, but the veterancy will slowly pile up and give Poncho 1 star, giving him more hit points. There are more forces inbound, though, from the east. They might curve this way, but honestly, I think the better move is to just push directly northward and kill off as much of that main base as possible, starve Team 1 of Eco, and then win that way, or at least win this section of the game that way. Units coming in and around now for Poncho. We have a nice little hook maneuver from Team 2. Nano coming online here for Sheppy in the middle. Gun upgrade done for Kelly. Gun upgrade done for Toxic Hunter to the west. Units are inbound. T2 Land is online. T1 PD being spammed up as quickly as possible. I thought I saw some Medusa in the mix. I guess not. Looks like it's all Sky Slammers and Mantis. T1 PD is online. That is going to actually help out a decent amount with Riptides as well coming in to assist. So between those two things, it should honestly be enough to deal with those remaining forces. But Team 1 is lacking in defenses over here on the east. Same thing on the west. And now we have combi-com between Kelly and Toxic. Toxic doesn't really take a lot of damage yet from the comm, but with the pillars here from Team 1, it looks like he might just get walked down here. Or is it trundled because they are on treads? I think it might be trundled because they're on treads, not walked down. Technically walked down by the comm. With Toxic Hunter taking a lot of damage, drops below 1,500. Might be the first kill here for Team 1 and the game. And he's dropping below 800 now. Pillar's still hitting him just every kind of odd shot. It looks like Team 1 doesn't go for the kill and decides to go further west, where Toxic will be grateful for that. But it does mean that that base that could have been technically either Sailor Moon's or StillX will remain in the hands of Toxic Hunter. Again, that is a strategy where you don't kill off a player. I did not move my my mini-map back, apologies. But not killing off a player and letting him keep his base does mean that, again, it distributes out the mass a little bit more evenly, makes it even longer for players to get stuff online, just because, again, you get double the amount of mass. Suddenly you can get a bunch of T3 mexes. You can get T3 land or air or whatever really quickly because you just have an influx of cash and you just got to spend it. So it does help, but it looks like Team 1's not opting to give them that yet. But especially considering the fact that Team 2 already has T3 air online and is going for first bomber here very, very soon, that would have probably needed that bomber to be built real quick. We do see T2 land and T2 land. No T2 air yet, but it is underway, going straight for T3. Looks like it is going to be Sheppy being the air player for Team 1. Gun upgrades barely started for StillX. Nano repair started for Sailor Moon after the stealth upgrade has been completed. Toxic is back up into the yellow first star event. Looks like he did get some entry to keep him alive longer. We do see some Ilshis are inbound from Sheppy. They will incidentally intercept the comm, or the comm is going to intercept them one way or the other. Mantis, of course, not going to phase those Ilshis from Team 1. We do see it's Rhinos versus Ilshis. It's going to come down to numbers. And Bomber does drop, killing off one of those tanks. I don't know if that was worth the one bomber, but another bomber inbound and going to kill off another couple of tanks. I mean, a couple of tank kills, not really worth the price of the bomber. You want to get that into more vulnerable structures, being T3, T2 P-Gens, T2 Mexes, even T3 Mexes if you can manage it. and really make that bomber work and really drive a wedge between the ecos. We do see it's a slight wedge, though, in favor for Team 2. I'd say about 40-ish massed in Team 2's favor. And that lead might whiten here shortly. It looks like the bomber is inbound. T2 Pigeons might be the target. T3 land is almost done. T3 air is almost done. And there goes the bomber. Drops off, kill off one of those 3 Pigeons. Lots of interceptors here moving into, intercept. And the bomber is not completely vulnerable, but again, is still taking a lot of damage. Drops a second. Oh, doesn't drop a second payload. Is trying to get out of there and trying to line up the shot. Drops a payload. There it is. Kills off another Pigeon, and that bomber now at 1 star vet, 4,000 mass killed. ASF inbound to assist. Another payload drops, killing off another Pigeon. That's number 3 dead for Sheppy. Will significantly reduce the ability for Team 1 to build the air units, at least for now. Another bomber is going to drop, killing off another T2 facility, this time being the headquarters. And here comes a Cougar saying, not done with that. And then Sheppy says, GG, boring. But, I mean, it is a valid strategy. That air facility came on very quickly, and now Team 2 has a little bit more of an advantage in eco. And not only eco, but again, they've denied some power for Team 1, and now the land facility is completely gone. And so Team 1's Sheppy's going to be relying on air for a little bit longer than being able to be land and air focused. But Ilshis are inbound, so that is still a concern here for Team 2. Are there any PD built in that wall section? Nope, just looks like it's just Team 1 units. Transport inbound to just help out a little bit. StillX here on the front line to assist Gun, and Nano online for him. I will note that Team 2's comms, this one's a little bit more far forward here than Sailor Moon, but at least, of course, obviously, because of Toxic Hunter lost a lot of hit points, he is a little bit further back than his compatriots. We do see, again, Keli still on the front line. We see Sheppy still on the front line, and we have Pancho over here to the eastern side. Looks like he's falling back, at least looks like going this way. So he's still moving to a front line, just not the one on the eastern side. And looks like Team 2's mounting an attack, maybe in the middle. Looks like Team 1 is starting to gain entire control of that northern side. Again, the 50% mark, the equator of the map, right about there. So Team 1 pretty much owns everything. Team 2, I mean, they need to kick out Team 1 from over here. Then they'll own the southern section of the map for the most part. We do see Titans are on the prowl. And Team 1 units, there's a couple of T2s, so they do have some units to fight back with. But again, 1,000 of anything kill anything. You can't just run Titans into a mix of a bunch of units, because they're going to die anyway, because it's just too many things shooting at them. That's, again, a really good way to kill off Percy's, is just swarm them, and they can only shoot so fast. We do see a little bit of some Rhino creep here from Team 2. Looks like facilities being established. Maybe create a nice little, again, buffer zone. T2 land facility online pretty far forward. Actually, that's his starting location. I keep thinking that's his frontline base, but that's his starting location, just because I think this is the main base for him, but it's two different blues. Anyway, T2 started here for Sheppy, has Nano and Gun already online, of course. Nano and Gun online for Pancho, only Gun online for Keli, and we have Gun Nano, and only Gun. So it looks like the northern players for both teams just focused on Gun. Everybody else is the same wavelength, Gun and Nano. Titans are inbound. Cougars assisting them. I don't see any parashields, which I think is a little bit unfortunate. And there's a lot of wall sections for Team 1, again, trying to curtail movement, creating their own geographical impediments. Granted, those can be destroyed, to be fair, or reclaimed. You can technically just scoop up those wall sections, but they do offer some nice impediments for Team 2, because if Team 2 goes this way, guess what? They also have to follow the same walls, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. Not exactly, I'd say double-edged, but I think it's like 1.5 edged. It's mainly focused on denying Team 1, but it does deny stuff for Team 2 if they were to act. But Team 2 can just control K them and walk on through anyway, so again, that's why I say it's more 1.5. And Bomber gets destroyed. It kills off a mech. I don't see how much mass it killed off. It didn't really kill off anything down here. It looks like it was just maybe that mech. So in terms of trades, Team 1 ends up the better team in that regard. So not every bomber is going to work. Team 1's now aware of their proclivities and decided to say no, thank you. Bricks, again, the bigger, more aggressive form of the Titan, just because they have more HP, more abilities in terms of torpedoes and torp defense. and more hit points and all that sort of stuff. And I think they maybe fire maybe a little bit slower, but I wouldn't say as, if not as fast, if not a little bit slower, a little bit faster, but I don't think it's by much, one way or the other. Attack missile started for the UBF commander of Poncho. Sheppy going for T3 in the middle of the map. I mean, that gives him the ability to build some AA and obviously quantum gateways and stuff like that, but it doesn't really give him a lot of other things as it does, again, the UEF player of Poncho, because he gets T3 Ravagers. He gets, of course, the more, I should say, better option to go for a Billy Nuke, because again, you can build it faster on board your comm with that T3 engineering suite rather than just the T2, which I will note, again, Poncho doesn't have T2, so it's going to take him even longer to build it and then load it. Unless he has a lot of engineering support, then he might be able to even out that way. But again, point being that like there's a little bit less that you can do with T3 as a Seraphim than you can with a UEF. And that's just a limitation of the faction, not necessarily the player. And just a mobile wall section inbound. Looks like there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of them. 8 and a little bit of them online. We do see, again, it's still Titans for Team 1's Keli. I'm surprised he hasn't gone for, which he is going for them now, Percy's, but he built a lot of Titans. We do see a nice little broadswords online for him. Again, Team 2's air player is a UEF. Team 1's air player is a Seraphim. So again, no T3 bombers for Sheppy. Team 2 has access to them. But again, Team 1 does have access to it in the form of Keli as well. We do see the comm of Sheppy's inbound to assist. T2PD trying to help as well. At least do as best as they can while those bricks stay within range. Overcharge comes in. 1-star vet now achieved by Sheppy's comm. We have a little bit of an air fight, but again, Team 2's kind of been in the lead for a while, and I think they're going to keep it. We do see some units trying to run by from Sailor Moon, almost said Signal Moon. And Percy is inbound. Actually misses the first shot because the comm of Poncho actually boops that loyalist. One loyalist might make it past, might be in the keyword in that statement. There is kind of a no man's land over there. Some mexes were eliminated for Team 1, so that will deny at least 6 mass a second per mex. Depending if they were T1s or T2s. These twos would be T2 for sure. These ones are probably still T1s. You can check the reclaim. No, that was T2, but that one was T1. So, a 20 mass a second for Team 1. Team 2 is now in the lead by about 100. So it is a lead to be concerned about at a bare minimum, but the percentage thing is going to be a bigger concern. If Team 2 can keep the same percentage, that can make a big of a difference rather than the number that they're ahead. The difference, let's say 100 mass a second at 10 minutes is huge versus 100 mass a second and an hour isn't really as big. This is just the percentage of how much Team 1 is producing versus Team 2. We do see Team 2 is starting to get a little bit ahead. Now they're closing in on 200. See, that's what I'm talking about. That exponential growth is starting to kind of play in a little bit. It does kind of decay a little bit, though. It doesn't just go, it kind of goes, is kind of little like stepping stones, and then it's kind of just a very, very thin line that goes up. If you can crank out some RAS comms or even just a bunch of mass fabs, you can kind of make it go pretty quick. Unless you go for Paragon, then it's just boom, bunch of mass. But it is more of a stepping stone kind of thing, or stepping stairs or whatever, and then it's kind of just a leveling off. To the north, more forces starting to stack up for Team 1's Keli. And Team 2, and again, they're kind of getting a little bit closer, but not by much. I guess the game's kind of dying down a little bit. We'll take a look, of course, at where everything else is. We do see some mexes are dead on the southeastern side for Team 1. A little bit mass being denied there. Team 2 is now above and closing in on 300 mass a second. Team 1, I mean, do you have power outages? No, that's no, and no. So this looks like Poncho's not as doing well in terms of ecoing for Team 1. We do see an Omni online as well for Sailor Moon. Again, that could just, in terms of the eco, it could just be that he's been just hit pretty hard, which he has been. Look at how many mexes he's lost. And that's been a couple of times he's lost those mexes, so it does hurt the eco if you keep having to rebuild the same mex over and over and over again. Billy Nuke has been started by Poncho, though. That might be fun to see. Gunships inbound. The RT2s. There is a T3 Myrmidon, and Yeah, that gets eliminated pretty quickly. We see some AA being built on that southern side just to either deny passive spy planes or, as we see, active gunships inbound. Spy plane is over here to the west, though. Team 1 has a decent idea of what Team 2 is up to. Team 2, what do you know about Team 1? You know a decent amount. You have 2 spy planes hanging out over there. So no one's in the dark in terms of what their opponents are doing, which I do like to see because it does give more move, counter move to that counter move, counter that counter, that sort of thing. A little bit more rock, paper, scissors, and every other configuration you can think of. Western side, again, lots of Percys. Again, lovely unit. I think one of the best units in the game. Do a lot of damage. Team 1 Hunters, though, I mean, not the most, I don't know, best unit, fastest DPS unit to deal with, but it does annoy the Percys because it takes 1 shot, 1 kill for them, and it takes a little bit of time to reload. We did see a couple of bombers drop some bombs on top of them and kill off a couple of units, which is good, but again, is that worth a couple of bombers? Team 1 could easily bring in, again, why are there no parashields, first of all? Second of all, where are the Cougars? Because I don't see them anywhere. And 1 ASF, again, a couple of them isn't going to be enough to crack that little ball of ASFs from Team 2. We do see forces inbound from Sailor Moon, essentially right down this eastern front, in between this group of forces and that PD wall. And Sailor Moon does have an experimental online. He is a Cybran. It's most likely a Monkey. He could gone for Mega, but he did go for Monkey. And units now inbound. We do see a chicken starting here for Team 1's Sheppy. We have Team 1 PD being built very, very quickly. There is 1 Mantis here that looks like it might be a little bit more annoying. The gunships are inbound. That's going to deal with that Mantis real quick. And then looks like some bricks outnumbering those Percys. But again, PD have been built. More of them underway. And that brick wall will meet a actual literal wall section or 2. And with gunships inbound, I mean, it was a lovely attempt by Team 2, but it's not getting them the mileage that they want out of it. Again, in terms of a reclaim, Team 1 is winning it because, again, Team 2 is sending units to Team 1. So it is kind of just saying, hey, there's now mass appearing on your doorstep. You might as well scoop that up. And Team 1's like, oh, okay, cool, I'll do that. And 1 PGen, maybe. Oh, nope, just barely not enough. Bombers inbound, 2 Cougars, or a couple of Cougars deal with them. Looks like more forces were destroyed, though, by the bombers. Looks like they targeted the cruisers, so mutual assured destruction there. Large group of forces. It does look pretty large, but to be fair, it's a lot of Team 1 Hunters. So, again, the light assault bots, the labs, and there is about a half or so wall section of bricks, and then about a half a dozen of bouncers or T3 AA mixed in as well. So there is some concern from Team 1 to deal with this. It does look a lot more imposing than it actually is, though. So there's a lot of blue icons up there. That doesn't mean that all of them are the same. However, we do see Billy Nuke has landed. It looks like, yep, Sailor Moon immediately knows what that is and says, get TMD, or at least is announcing to the world, at least his team, saying, hey, there's a Billy, you probably should build TMD, which he's already built a ton of them here anyways. So he already has that. He might have seen it coming, but he's just confirmed that it's there. Monkey Lord lying in wait. Crab is already half done. Expansion and air grid is going well. I do like the decentralization. There's a little bit of a gap to offer a little bit of protection from the volatile explosion of that PGen. Although I do like to see that. Would like to see maybe more expansion into that western edge, but there's really nothing there. It doesn't have to deal with being so scrunched together, but it does save on shielding when you can just put a bunch of things on a 1 shield. So that does help. Titans of Percys inbound. Again, the Titans will deal with the T1 units. The Percys will deal with the T3s. Primarily, of course, the bricks, and then focus on the bouncers and everything else afterwards. And again, both teams, again, not really a lot of aggression now in terms of, well, comms specifically, because it is 30 minutes on the clock. Snipes have already been on the table for at least about 5 to 10 minutes, especially with the bombers running around. For StillX, we have Harass being built in StillX's comm, so he's going to inject his left arm full of mass. He can't inject his right arm, though, because UEF and Cybrans don't have that ability. Again, this is, I'd say, a really good counter. Just send a couple of gunships, T1, T2s, or even if you're Cybran, T1s, and just riddle all of those hunters full of holes. Hunters will be able to kill off, again, they're not entirely useless. They do kill off a T2 Mexer that denies 9 mass a second for Team 1. So it does do something. It's just in large armies, it's mainly used as cannon fodder than actually damage-dealing units. Comm on a transport. Again, we've seen bad things happen to comms on transports here in the past couple weeks, so definitely want to watch out for how many hit points that transport has. Billy Nuke is inbound. Looks like he is shifting more westward because he sees all the TMD denying the Billy Nukes from, Team 1's Poncho. I trust you, says Sheppy. Don't know what that's in reference to, but here comes the Billy Nuke. Team D's being built all over the place. 1 gets built. 2 gets built, but no, it still lands. It still kills off a couple of mexes. Doesn't grab that 3rd one, but it does deny engineers building TMD, and Team 2 just doesn't want to deal with it. Western side, and in terms of building all those TMD to deal with the Billy Nuke. Toxic Hunter is here. He only has gun. His base is getting hit decently hard. Nuke inbound from Team 1's Keli. And, SMD would be great. SMD would be great. Blow up the P-Gen. Oh, blow up the P-Gen. Oh, you could see the gun. Look at it. But the Nuke is inbound. Oh, is it going for the... Oh, it's going for the air grid. Oh, that's going to be great for Team 1. Climbing back their way in terms of air. And here comes the Nuke. Kaboom! See, and that is the downside of putting all your stuff under one roof. Is that roof collapses, everything or almost everything is gone. So not great for Team 2 in terms of air. They're still winning the eco game though, so there is a chance for them to come back. As a reminder, currently ASF stand at 115 versus Sheppy's 90. It's about actually dead even. I thought they were behind a lot further, but it looks like some of those UEF ones were handed over to him to be able to augment their forces. So again, and if Team 1 takes an air fight right now and Team 2 is not over some decent AA for themselves, even if Team 1 loses it, it will be significant enough to where Team 1 can easily rebuild and then just slaughter the rest of those ASFs. So Team 2 has to be very careful about sending their ASFs in because Team 1, they know that, and if they can take the fight, they probably will. And we do see Toxic kind of did get hit, but he's not destroyed yet. That's like the 2nd time he's survived death. Technically, the 1st time was worse. He almost died. This time he was still in the yellow at least. Both of the comms here for Team 2's southern and middle players hanging out in the same pond. Don't recommend that, but again, when there's limited options, you have limited options. I will note Team 2 has lost mexes up here to the northwest. Again, they probably won't get those back. They haven't had them online for a while, but they, for now, are just being specifically denied. Team 1 has lost mexes, though, so that's hurting a little bit. Eastern side mexes are getting hit again, it looks like, by Team 2, so just can't keep those mexes online, Poncho. And I feel bad because it looks like he's just getting hit hard. And Monkey Wood Online laser started for Team 2's Toxic. He could go for Teleporter. He could. He hasn't gone for it yet, but it is taking him a while to build the laser nonetheless. Oh, please tell me you have TMD. You do have TMD here, and I will show everybody and myself. That is the range of the TMD. There is a world where you line the shot up, and you could maybe kill off the... I think the PJ might be just barely out of reach, maybe. And Billy Nuke is inbound. Oh, that's going to hurt. And looks like not within range. Kaboom! Kills off Toxic Hunter Poncho at 35 minutes, scores first blood. Nice grab. And on top of that, kills off the SMD for that base, which means the Nuke for Team 1 has a nice little open door to come in and wipe out the remaining structures in that base, making a nice little 2 or 1-2 punch. I almost said 2-1 punch. Or a 2-for-1 punch. Maybe it's a 2-for-1 punch. I don't know. It's something to do with 2 and 1. It's better than the other number memes. And again, 80,000 mass with 1 nuke. Very well done. And honestly, killing off a 2nd base with a nuke, that would devastate the eco for Team 2. And again, Team 2 has been losing that western side for a while. Team 1's been holding the eastern front back. It has been a little bit touch and go, but again, the mexes were rebuilt and they're gone again. Poncho, I'm so sorry. You just keep, they're like, I just want some mexes. And Team 2's like, no. It's like, but I want mexes. He's like, no. He's being very efficient, though, using that blue nuke very well. Team 2, again, very annoyed about it, of course. They have Team D built all over the map. You can see, again, there's 4 over there, but there's a lot more down here. This Team 2 has their own nuke. They're kind of fed up with it. Team 1's like, okay, well, if Team 1's going to do that to Team 2, Team 2's going to do that to Team 1. 36 minutes on the clock with 1 player dead. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't, because I don't know why you wouldn't at this point, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, as always, so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And let's take a look at a couple of Percys hanging out in the pond next to a couple of bricks. Bricks can fire at the Percys. Percys cannot fire at the bricks because they don't have torpedoes. If they were slippers or they were Othams, they could, but they are not. And it looks like they tried to catch some bricks napping. Team 2 looks like maybe they spotted it or just lucky they were moving it at the same time. Clips. One, it is not bad. At least it kills off something. It probably would have been very nice for Team 1 to kill off that SMD there, but, you know, kills off something. Chicken going after a monkey. As long as the monkey doesn't walk into range of the Ion Storm, the monkey should win this fight because of the bricks assisting. Chicken could actually walk. The strats, though, for Team 2, they've stacked up decently well. They've rebuilt their air grid, expanding now. Nuke is inbound. Do not tell me you just nuked. I mean, you could have nuked the same base, to be honest. And, I mean, I don't know. Maybe this base would actually be more worth it taking out. Nuke is inbound from Team 2. On to Team 1. Okay. Okay, so 37 minutes on the clock. Team 1 already has a nuke online and has fired it technically twice, but technically once. Kaboom! Kills off the remaining stuff over there. Looks like those were, was that E-storages? Oh yeah, those are E-storages. But here comes a nuke from Team 2. Oh, if that SMD's in range. Oh, it's not even loaded. Never mind. SMD just got built. That's not going to help Team 1. Ooh, that's a big oversight. Kaboom! Does lose the T3 air raid quarters. Does lose most of it. Actually, surprisingly enough, the SMD is not destroyed. That's very surprising. But again, a lot of power is gone. The air headquarters is gone. That's going to hurt Team 1. And Team 1 was, again, staying well where Team 2 was in terms of ASFs. They're at 180. And then StillX is at 130 plus the additional Sailor Moon ASFs. So it's about dead even between the teams. So we've kind of stayed about even, considering we've had one airbase destroyed and now another airbase has been destroyed. This nuke has devastated this position once belonging to Toxic Hunter. Of course, I did think it would go there afterwards. I do think there should be an SMD, which there is. It's over here to the right, though. Does that cover the... the nuke is here. So you could probably edge some of the air grid. I don't think you'd get all of it, but you definitely get most of it for sure. They should get an SMD right here, somewhere in this mix, but at least they have an SMD blocking most of the angle. Nuke says Toxic Hunter. Yeah, I mean, given the hover drones around it, kind of give an idea on it. Again, not confirmed. They could be building other things, but it looks like maybe they're going to build other things there. Another billion nuke lands, takes off about half of that couple of walls for Team 2. So it's denying units for Team 2, which is good because now Team 1 is in the lead and it's costing, again, more mass, more energy to rebuild all those units and keep them on. Not keep them online, but at least rebuild them. Imagine if that was a thing that players had to worry about, was not only building the units but maintaining them. Yeah, there are some units that have shielding and stuff that you require power for, but in terms of spending more mass to keep them active and whatnot, you can repair them, I guess, and that costs mass, but not in the same sense of like the unit is online, it's taking no damage, and you've still spent mass to keep it online kind of thing. Well, the nuke is embedded in all of this blue, icon stuff. It might be enough to hide. It's not, though. Oh, there goes the nuke. Oh, there's a fat boy just sitting there. Ooh, kaboom! Another good nuke from Team 1. Keli has been on point. 1 base, 2 base, and a huge clump of forces. Should be at 120. Oh, 170,000 mass. Oof, that's an average of over 50,000 mass per nuke. And I will note he has four fat boys online. That is a lot, especially for ladder matches. That's a lot of Fat Boys. It's a fridge and a third of another one. We do see there's 2 experimentals and a decent chunk of bricks and some bouncers here. So looks like they are going to attack that avenue there. Team 1's Poncho does have to be careful. There are those units there. They will stomp over him very quickly. Looks like maybe hide in the pond and wait for them to appear maybe. Calm Dead says Toxic Hunter. I don't know what he's talking about there. And in terms of the base for Team 2, more monkeys, more crabs. Artillery coming online for Sailor Moon. I mean, this map is small enough. It's definitely within range of everything, but let's check. Except the corner, but that doesn't count. There's nothing there. Nuke Navy. Oh, that'd be pretty funny. Just nuke a bunch of cruisers being built. Billy Nuke, of course, lands. The forces move anyways. Moving in to intercept the Titans that are running by. A couple of them I think will get by. Not a lot, though. Not enough to be that much of a threat. Still annoying, especially with strats. You can kill those off real quick, especially when you spread the damage out like that. Oh, that's just almost disrespectful. Almost. Just like, that's way too much firepower for a couple of Titans. Nuke is inbound. SMD is built. It's not loaded. Not loaded. Team 1 is going to lose this base, and he's building a satellite, and it's actually almost in the green as well. Oof, that's got to hurt. No, this one's going to hurt. This one hurts more. I think both of them hurt, but this one hurts more because it's been more time. Kaboom! There goes the headquarters. There goes the mexes. There goes the satellite that was almost done. Oh, that's got to hurt. Team 1's Poncho again. All of that mass driving that Billy Nuke. And he's done very well with it. He's done 68, almost 69,000. Nice 1,000 damage. He's done some work with it, but just needed just a little bit more assistance on that SMD, and he would have been fine. The nuke for Team 2 has killed off 131,000. So staying relatively in line with Team 1's nuke, and Kelly's at almost loaded with that one again. I don't think there's any open base. There are some pings. There is an SMD that has been built there and another SMD that's been built there. Billy Nuke is inbound from Sheppy. Ooh. Oh, please don't hit the ASFs. That'd be very, very unfortunate for Team 2. But funny for Team 1. Billy Nuke's going to land. Kills off P-Gen and takes off the shield capacity. But he won't be able to fire again and have it get there quick enough for it to make a difference. Team D Morris is toxic. Going to build them immediately. Definitely a good call there. Team 1 has that artillery going. 5 seconds, I thought it was a Duke. Artillery for Team 2 is almost done as well, so it looks like it's just a race for artillery. Shielding already in place for Team 2. Not as much for Team 1. Again, I say something, and it's going to happen for the most part. There goes the shielding being built. Like to see more of it dotted everywhere around that for Team 1. I just don't know where else Team 1 could really target. And then there is an SMD there. There are the 6. There's 2 freezes full of Fat Boys over here. I'm surprised he's not just trundling them southward, because that should honestly be a win at that point. Look at all of the Percys behind them as well. You could just have these build flak and parashields on all of them. Just build flak and parashields on all of them. And honestly, just push with all this, and that might just be a win right there. Airfight Now says, who's that on Team 2? Was that Sailor? That was Sailor Moon that said that. Artillery is done for Team 1. Tiny smidgen of an airfight. A little bit of AA for the Fat Boys. And the Fat Boys are being targeted by those. Oh, there come those strats. Oh, that's almost one dead Fat Boy almost immediately. ASFs from Team 1 have to push in. They just have to. And there goes a Billy Nuke, and it hits. It hits the ASFs and takes a chunk of them out. Oh, that's unfortunate. You can see in the air right above those Percy's heads. Ooh, cinching the hair on their heads. Oof, that was close. Gunships killing off the chicken. Air forces from Team 2. Not there. We have 6. I almost did it. I almost said it. I almost said the other number, but there's 6 of those experiments for Team 2. There's 3 of them over there. There's a nuke inbound right there. It will clear the way a little bit, but it's not going to do that much work. Where's the artillery for Team 2 headed? Is it just trading artilleries? Team 1's going for a second one. Again, Nuke is inbound. Team 1's artillery is targeting the artillery for team... Oh, no, it's targeting the air grid. All those hives. Team 2's artillery is targeting over here to the west. There's some stuff over here. There's some P-gens, most definitely. But not as condensed as it is over there for Keli. Kaboom! That kills off some mexes. Kills off the SMD that was there. It's something. It's not as good as all the other ones. But, yeah, it's still a good one. Up to 210,000 mass. Artillery now targeting the artillery from Team 1. Team 2 still actually getting hit here. Looks like the focus is on the air grid. And maybe starve the power for Sailor Moon. Another Billy Nuke lands surprisingly right here. How did that one slip in? I'm surprised there wasn't TMD there. But nice grab there. Was that was an SMD there, wasn't it? Yeah, there was an SMD there. That's now gone. Now it's just this one. Oh, that's not good for Team 2. That is not good for Team 2. And starting to break through a little bit. Nuke is right there. I'm actually kind of surprised that Team 2 isn't trying to target the Nuke from Team 1. Second artillery is online. And shielding coming in to cover it. Billy Nuke inbound. It's going to kill off a Mex. Looks like it was targeting those monkeys there. But a lot of not pushing in yet. It's going to probably come down to who flinches first. If Team 2 flinches, Team 1's going to win. If Team 1 flinches, Team 2's going to win. We do see, again, 5 monkeys and a crab against 1 chicken. Now, there is, again, a couple of charges, 3 charges of Percy's here. It's 49 of them, so there's actually 4 charges, but it looks like a lot more. It's a lot of firepower. You can one-tap monkeys real quick with that. Looks like Poncho is moving in to do just that. He's pulling. I mean, I do understand the worry of doing that, of pushing straight in, because there are all these bricks right here. Ion Storm. It's gonna singe the back of that monkey's hair, but not really do a lot of damage, to be honest. Artillery now switches back over here. Killed off an SMD, so the Nuke can come in and blow all that up.
Strategic launch detected.
Thank you for proving my point. Almost immediately. And artillery from Team 1. Again, there's 2 of them now. There's actually 1 right here for Team 2. Nestled in with the air grid. Looks like they've already taken some damage. That's not good, because that means not good things are happening. There goes the shield. Oh, hits some engineers. That's never fun. It's only going to take 1, probably 2 good shots maybe. Oh, there's 1. Almost kills off the headquarters. And there's the other one. Kills off the headquarters and the artillery being built. Essentially nullifying that base. Here comes the Nuke. Kaboom. I mean, it does do a chunk of power damage and some mexes and whatnot. But again, I think more devastating is that loss in headquarters again for Team 2 and the artillery that was almost done. And no secondary artillery for Team 2 yet anywhere else, at least in terms of Sailor Moon. We do see a 3rd one is being worked on for Team 1. Don't see anything else in terms of that regard. It looks like it's just Keli. I think we might know the MVP for Team 1. But I do want to say, even if Team 1 doesn't win the game, honorable mention definitely does go to Poncho just because of the 135,000 damage he's done with his 1 Billy. Granted, it's a lot of Billies fired, but it's 1 comm, 135,000 damage. And now here comes those forces for Team 2. Team 1 is pulling everything back. Looks like they are targeting the SMD here, maybe to nuke this base. How's the Nuke looking? It's 168,000 mass and over half loaded. Where's the artillery targeting for Team 1? Don't know. They're pulling back all the FAF boys. It's going to take some time to get there. Another Billy Nuke lands, takes off a chunk of those forces. Percy's, they need to start focusing those monkeys. Yes, the bricks are a concern, but those monkeys are going to be a bigger concern here shortly. And now he's up to 151,000 mass killed. He went up 16,000 mass with that 1 Billy. Again, still very, very well for himself in terms of that. Looks like SMD has been taken out. Where's that Nuke going? Oh, come on. You got to fire the thing. There it is. I was like, oh, you got to just say something about it. There goes the Nuke. It's inbound. It's inbound for that base. Now it's just going to be 1 base for Team 2 being Sailor Moon's. Monkey is in the middle of Poncho's base. He tried to resurrect it a little bit. Got, some way the way there, but not all the way. Most of those Percys have been eliminated. Fat Boys are still inbound, and they knew they weren't going to make it over here, so they just cut their losses and going towards Sheppy's base. Gunships over here. Monkeywood does get some vets staying alive a little bit longer. ASF's inbound, but they're kind of coming in 1 and 2s versus Team 1's clumpages of ASFs. That's a huge air win, at least in partial for the Sailor Moon ASFs. There's still the clumpage of StillX's ASFs, to be fair. So there's still an air fight to be had if it does happen. Fat Boy's now starting to come into range, and now with 2 fridges full of ice cream sandwiches, it's a lot of firepower inbound. Kaboom! Engineers get out of range. Maybe they'll have enough time to rebuild stuff. I don't know. 49 minutes, almost 50 minutes on the clock. Boom Nuke's going to land and hit a couple of AA, which is actually great, keeping those gunships alive a little bit longer. But look at all those yellow dots just landing in that Fat Boy wall or section of walls, or however many Fat Boys you want to call that. Just absolutely annihilates that Monkey Lord. There's still another one here, and there's a Mega, but there's a lot of reclaim here for Team 1. Team 2, Fat Boys are going to be targeted by those ambassadors. There is some AA en route. They're not going to kill off that first Fat Boy, though. They're just not going to do it. There's not enough damage. And the ASFs are crowding the skies. Sheppy. Oh, Sheppy's here. Sheppy is within range of that Monkey Lord. Oh, but it doesn't matter. The Monkey Lord not focusing on the comp. Overcharge comes up, kills off the nice Monkey Lord coming to say hi. And Strap Bombers actually target a different Fat Boy, which is a little odd. But that army is decimated for Team 2. Again, they have denied, some mass and whatnot for Poncho, but there is still that force over here to the west. There is that Monkey Lord over here to the northwest. The artillery is down for Team 2, so they've lost most of their longer range options. They still have the nuke. And Team 1 now has 3 artillery pieces. They did take some damage, but somewhat inconsequential, to be honest. Not possible to win, says Sailor Moon. He might actually control K, is the order given. Waiting to recall, so it looks like StillX is he's the person waiting to respond to it. Looks like he might stick with it. StillX is not actively playing. Bro, if that hits, says Sheppy. And the recall vote, of course, did not pass because you need both players to actually pass the recall vote in a 2-player situation. But 3 artillery shots inbound almost simultaneously. Yeah, that's not going to keep much shields online, at least at this point. Not without a lot of other support. Oh, they didn't kill off the... Oh. All right. It made a cast of curse there. I'm like, oh, the SMD isn't gone. Gone now. This is, I think, the last biggest thing for Team 2 to eliminate. Looks like Sailor Moon. So Team 1 to eliminate Sailor Moon control Ks. And, yeah, there's just... there's a little bit of hope. A little bit of hope being the key word in that statement. A large, absolutely massive group of Perseus here. 78. That's a couple 3 charges of Perseus for sure. And, yeah, at this point, I can speed this up a little bit more, to be honest. Gunships inbound. Still not a lot of T3 gunships that we've seen. Looks like, again, focused on just artillery. But, there was a couple of gunships earlier in the game in terms of those broadswords. Monkey Lord being bullied by some Voltus. And there's 6 Fat Boys inbound, bullying 1 Monkey Lord, it looks like. Yeah, it's a lot of firepower just for 1 unit. But, cementing the win isn't necessarily a bad idea. Artillery targeting SMDs, I would assume at this point. Team 1's going to nuke everything Team 2 owns. StillX still in it. Surprised he's actually still in it, to be honest. And, that Monkey Lord's inbound. Oh, he's going to build a 4th artillery emplacement. Poncho is here getting some... you're going to get his comm out of there? Probably. No? Oh, yep. He's like, no, I'm out of here. Bye. Monkey Lord... it's not walking... If it was walking straight in, maybe. Maybe it'd do some damage. But most of those SMDs are gone for Team 2, so nukes could probably just rampage all over the place. Billy Nuke inbound. Oh, it's going to hit the shield. Oh, it doesn't hit the shield. Monkey Lord inbound. Oh, it's going to do some damage. Another artillery just came online. Drops the comm. Oh, nope. Oh, that was super close. But Team 1 saves their 3rd? Yeah, 3rd artillery piece. Yeah, all the SMDs are gone. Chicken versus monkey. Sorry, chicken versus crab. And yeah, that's about it here for Team 2. There's really nothing left. Again, Team 1 could have been better about the SMDs. Team 2 could have been a little bit better, especially earlier on with SMDs. But especially Team 1, again, not having an SMD 37 minutes and then not having one loaded 42 minutes. Not great. Again, focusing on other things, I get that. But still, you usually try to build those 25, 30 minutes and then have them loaded even before 35 at least. Just in case. I mean, in bigger games, there's more focus on players divvying up tasks to build, SMDs and whatnot. Obviously, especially dual gap and sentence and whatnot. But still, if we win this kill, I will never call you time, says Sheppy. I don't know what that's in reference to. I have no idea. Keli, smiley face. I mean, there is a non-zero chance that Team 2 could probably still win this. The likelihood of that is super low. Like I said, it's a non-zero. That doesn't mean it's near zero. But it's non-zero. Nuke is inbound. They're just going to nuke the pond. Is he moving? Oh, he's moving. How is this match still going on? I do know he wants to fight to the bitter end. I mean, I get the sentiment. I really do. But there are some matches where you're like, okay, I think that's enough. So, and this match might be one of those like, yeah, only control case everything, not giving the satisfaction of the nuke blowing anything up. Still has the comm over here. Team 1 is aware of the comm. GG, says Keli. How much mass killed? 265,000. Definitely worth itself. And now we just have ASFs online and a bug. For whatever reason, there was a bug. Are they really going to draw this match out? Yep. Is he going to... Oh, he's trying to control... Oh, I see what he's doing. Okay. So he just kills himself by the bug. Do you already hit the... Oh, T3 already shield hit the bug? Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, the AoE wouldn't have done that much damage. But Team 1 wins the game. Almost an hour on the match. But just a little bit shy of that. Again, MVP goes to Keli with the nuke on the artilleries. I mean, that did so much work. Again, both teams, technically, the nukes for Sailor Moon and Keli did a lot of work. 100,000+ mass for both of them. The nuke for Team 1 ended up sitting at almost 300. And again, definitely honorable mention to Poncho with the 200. Where's the comm? There he is. 265. Almost did as much mass destruction as the regular nuke. And that regular nuke is bigger and does more damage. The Billy nuke obviously is portable, at least, this version of the comparison versus the nuke. If there's a naval nuke or something like that, it is mobile. But in this discussion, it's mobile and it's on a comm versus it's stationary. So there's that. Great game nonetheless. Team 2, again, there were avenues of chances of attack. It could have been a little bit APM wise in terms of Team 2 eliminating Toxic Hunter eventually. But I don't know. I do think there was a realm maybe Team 2 could have won at some point. The Fat Boy stacking up, though, did kind of prevent Team 2 from going that way, so they were almost forced to go that way. And then they did get a little bit through, and then Team 1 said nope. So I think Team 2 just kind of waited a little bit longer to maybe react to what Team 1 was doing maybe. And just Team 1 just scaled incredibly well. Again, they got the northern side and just said, run with it. But again, let me know how you felt about the match. Thank you so much for watching until the very end of the video for those that did stay. And I will see all of you in the next one.